Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas, I guess. So I'm going to talk about Home Alone. Now, this is probably my favorite Christmas movie. I always thought it was the Christmas Story, but I don't know. I feel more connections with the Home Alone movies. Besides just 1 and 2. I think I've already expressed my thoughts about the other versions when I reviewed Sweet Home Alone. So this movie, I think, came out in the 90s. And it stars Macaulay Culkin, and dang, I can't believe he was so young when this movie came out, and to see him today, it's just like, it's crazy. So it's about Kevin is about this guy named Kevin McAllister. He's kind of tired of his family because they feel he's treated like the little guy, and they don't understand them. But then after they give him a hard time, after a bad Christmas party, they get ready for their Christmas vacation, but when they didn't realize Kevin wasn't there. And so basically the whole movie is Kevin home alone until 2 burglars called the Wet Bandits sneak in, and Kevin has to defend his house on Christmas. Now, this movie is really iconic, has so many iconic scenes, like, for example, on this poster, as I show, Kevin has his hands on his cheeks, and he's just like, oh, like, that's an iconic scene for sure, and it's kind of fun just seeing if you're home alone. If you're, like, a young kid, it's probably a miracle that you're home alone, because you can do whatever you want, but when you get older, I feel like it's just kind of boring to be home alone. And I feel like Kevin is just happy that his family isn't there. He, early on in the movie, he wishes that his family were never there or something. And that dream came true, and the iconic line where he just says, "I made my family disappear." And then he's just having a wild time while his family's just on, this plane trip, and then when the mom realizes, like, oh crap, I just left my own son at the house, and it's just like, what kind of mother am I? It just makes me think how bad Kevin's family is. Just like, they don't treat him right at all, as I said earlier. Like, especially Uncle Frank, as we know, because he's kind of just like the cheapskate and just rude for no reason. Even, like, some of his family members give him a hard time. They're calling him, like, a disease or something. And it just proves that Kevin it kind of just proves Kevin's point that he'd rather just live alone. Because he's treated unfairly. And I feel like every scene it's fun. Like, especially the finale. Like, when Kevin is finally defending his house. Because the Wet Bandits, they don't care about when Christmas is. They just want to rob houses on Christmas, because that's the perfect opportunity to steal valuable things. And even, I think, I don't know how to say their names. I think it's Marty and Marv or something. I don't know. And, like, one is dressed up like a cop. He's just like, you can tell he's disguised, because we see the golden tooth. And he later has a golden tooth later, even when he's a criminal. And I don't know how. I always wondered how he got a cop costume. Like, why is he even dressed up like a cop? So you can have an opportunity to learn when the families are escaping. He even watches Kevin whine about his family. And so, yeah. Even when they try to break into the house earlier, Kevin decides to play this one old movie where there's this crazy guy with a machine gun who kills his comrade or something, and he uses that on the Wet Bandits to scare them off. And also, they can't believe they fell for it. It proves that they're dumb, that they don't know that's just a movie. And he even tricks the pizza guy, and he's just like, whatever. It's funny. It's a funny scene. Like I said, there's so many iconic scenes. And we gotta address the elephant in the room. In Home Alone, there's this one guy. I think his name is Mr. Merlin. And he's so misunderstood. They view him as a creepy man. But then later, when Kevin decides to go to the church and check out the choir at the church, Mr. Merlin sees him, and he's just like, Merry Christmas. And then you find out he's just a kind man. He's very quiet, patient. And I love the lines where he's teaching Kevin that it's okay to be afraid. Even if you're an adult, you're never too old to be afraid. And Kevin is just like, they're both calm, they're both talking. It's very nice, sweet. Then Kevin realizes he has to go save his family, his house. And so even when he overhears the Wet Bandits plotting to take over the house, and so Kevin sets out the traps. It's very cool. And so you just feel it when the Wet Bandits get punishment towards them. Like they slip on floor ice, they slip on toy cars. I think Marv steps on some Christmas ornaments when he's not wearing shoes, and it's just like super painful. I guess it's like worse than stepping on Legos, I think he even gets stabbed through the needle after stepping on some sticky oil, and even one of them gets attached by feathers, and he turns into like a chicken, and he even gets his head burnt. Like, it's funny, like they kind of deserve it since they're criminals. And then I love this line where they play that one song, I forget what it's called, and then Kevin's like zip lining, and then that part was entertaining, and the two try to follow along, but then Kevin just uses some bolt cutters and then cuts the line, and they both fall. Like, dang, I don't know if I should feel bad for them, but for some reason they don't. And I think Kevin even puts his mean brother Buzz, his spider, on Marv's face. Like, he's just screaming his head off because he doesn't like spiders, I guess. And so Kevin then loses at first when he finally gets up out of his basement, and then the two burglars followed him, but then they hook him to this clipper thing, and then you think they're gonna do horrible things to him, but no, the neighbor comes in with a shovel and whacks them with it, and then the two are arrested, and the family finally gets home. And during this, the family's just like staying on vacation for a bit, but then the mom is just like trying to get home. And we also get John Candy in this movie for some reason. This is like one of his more underrated roles. Like, you always forget John Candy's in this movie. He's like one of the musicians in this movie. And so I think that's Home Alone. The family finally reunites, and Kevin screams Kevin's name after also Kevin, while he was home alone, he destroyed Buzz's room. We also get that funny furnace scene. And randomly wanted to say that, of course. And so I'd probably rate this movie a 10 out of 10. It's funny, it's fun, it's interesting. It's a perfect movie to watch every Christmas. And so tell me, what do you think of Home Alone? And so thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.